All right, listen up. Because what premium about out to chat almost everything about hot about how women think. Most men think they understand female psychology because they've watched a few videos, read some articles, or maybe even bought a book. But here's the simple truth. You were taught all the wrong things. Romantic movies and fairy tales have trained you to believe that women are these mysterious, complex puzzles just waiting for you to solve them. They're not. Understanding women is actually both simpler and more complex than you probably imagine. It's simpler because there are definite patterns. But it's more complex because most men are looking in completely the wrong direction. Men obsess over the tiny details, one unread message, one short reply, one missing emoji. You analyze texts like you're at a crime scene, convinced that every single word holds some deep, hidden meaning. Meanwhile, the woman you're thinking about is probably just chilling on her couch, watching Netflix, and has completely forgotten that the message even existed. And that right there is the first truth. Women are not analyzing you the way you analyze them. Most of the time, they are simply responding to how they feel in that exact moment. I learned this the hard way. When I was younger, I spent weeks planning the perfect approach to a woman I was interested in. I had the timing, the location, the conversation starters, everything was calculated down to the last detail. When I finally went up to talk to her, none of it mattered. Why? Because she was having a bad day. Her mind was a million miles away. Then, about 2 weeks later, I ran into her completely by chance. I said something totally random and stupid about the music being too loud, and guess what? We ended up dating for 2 years. So what happened? It wasn't because of my clever words or my perfect plan. It was because, in that second moment, she was emotionally open. That is how attraction works. A woman's emotional state is like the weather. You can't control it. You can only recognize what it's doing and respond accordingly. But most men try to change the weather. They think that if they just say the right words, act the right way, or put in enough effort, they can force attraction to happen. It doesn't work like that. Her mood, her openness, her level of interest, these things fluctuate based on 1,000 different factors that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Stress, hormones, how her day went, her past experiences. You are just one small variable in a massive equation. And here is something else that most men really struggle to accept. Women don't experience attraction logically. Emotion always comes first, and the explanation comes later. She feels something for you, and only then does she create the reasons why she feels it. This is exactly why you can't logic your way into attraction. There's no PowerPoint presentation, no checklist of good deeds, and no nice guy strategy that can manufacture genuine desire. Here is another uncomfortable truth for you. What women say they want and what actually triggers their attraction are often two very different things. The lists of qualities she wants in a partner, that's all theoretical. Attraction is purely emotional. This is why trying to become the perfect, endlessly agreeable man almost always backfires. Being excessively available doesn't create desire, it kills it. The more you seek her validation, the less attractive you become. Real attraction grows from self-direction, from independence, and from emotional stability, not from neediness. Women aren't attracted to men who make them the center of their universe. They're attracted to men who have their own center. And constant agreement doesn't create attraction either. Always validating everything, she says, signals weakness. Emotional strength shows up as calm disagreement, as having boundaries, and as self-respect. What women truly respond to is an emotional experience. It's not just about comfort, and it's not just about safety. It's also about excitement, tension, uncertainty, and intensity. This is why being too predictable feels boring. And it's why your emotional energy matters so much more than being perfect. Communication is another area where there's a huge disconnect. Men typically communicate to solve problems. Women, on the other hand, often communicate just to process their emotions. When she comes to you talking about an issue, she usually doesn't want you to give her a solution. She wants you to give her understanding. Jumping in immediately to try and fix it can feel dismissive, even when your intentions are good. And when it comes to intimacy, women operate on a different wavelength. Male desire is often direct and immediate. Female desire is usually responsive. The context matters. The emotional environment matters. The connection matters. That's why her attraction can be incredibly strong one day and then seem to vanish the next without any logic, without any warning. Social dynamics also play a much bigger role than most men realize. Women are influenced by social context, by what the group thinks, and by emotional cues. The concept of preselection is real. Scarcity creates value. The fear of emotional loss can trigger attachment. This isn't about manipulation, it's just basic human psychology. Modern dating has made all of this even more complicated. Having endless options creates confusion, anxiety, and a constant feeling of dissatisfaction. This choice overload doesn't bring happiness, it just creates hesitation and inaction. At the very core of all of this, there is one fundamental truth that every man must accept. You cannot negotiate attraction. You cannot earn desire through effort alone. And you absolutely cannot force chemistry to exist through logic. Attraction is a deep psychological and emotional response. It either exists or it doesn't. Once you stop trying to control it, stop taking rejection so personally, and stop projecting your own way of thinking onto women, everything becomes so much clearer. Understanding this difference doesn't guarantee success. What it does, clarity, peace of mind, power. And once you finally understand the rules of the game, you can decide for yourself whether you want to play or, if you rather, just walk away entirely. Thanks for watching. If this helped you see things differently, hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. See you in the next one.